I like to see the corona as a gift on so many ways. Yes, there is a sadness involved on unfortunate passings or whatever happens, that people get very, very sick and then they die. But generally, for a whole humanity and for a whole planet and for all what we actually need is the simplicity and come back to your true nature, to come back to you and then start to live out more from the heart center, So that's what is on offer here. And I like to think it this way, rather than go and be fearful and go to the mainstream and run away with all this craziness, So.
Aloha, my beautiful friends on the other side of the screen. Whether you're listening or watching this, I welcome you to this beautiful Abundance in Action podcast. And today coming to you from beautiful San Diego, California. My name is Kristara Lakshmi-Dipton. I call myself New Time Coach, and I believe that each one of us, we have beautiful treasure boxes inside. And once we start to open them, we start to manifest our inner fairy tales into dreams, into this reality on our terms. Welcome. And today I have a very special guest, Riina Jüris. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Crystal.
Riina, you are on the line today from Ireland.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, where in Ireland are you exactly?
I'm in beautiful south sunny Wexford. That's how we call it, Sunny South Wexford, actually, yes.
Very nice. And you are quite a special lady. As always, when I start to do some research about my guests for the podcast, I had a really interesting, surprising discovery. Riina is almost like a secret agent. There is not much information about you.
I wish that it's going to stay like that. It's beautiful to be not known.
Yeah. But I and my energy was really feeling that your spirit was raising the hand and saying, I would like to share my story. And here we are. And we had a little discussion and conversation how to introduce you. And I made a little introduction. So I will share some of the things you have experienced and some of your journeys. And then we'll go deeper into it together. So Riina is a woman who actually said, I like to not be called with titles. I'm a simple, grounded, honest woman. It's a very modest way to put it. But I think when we look at what you already have done within your life, it's so much more. So you started in a hotel business and then you connected to your dream to become a midwife. It took quite many years. You studied to become a midwife. At the same time, you also studied massage. And then you worked on several different jobs. Then you became the assistant midwife, and then you worked as a midwife as well for some time. Then you got an invitation and opportunity to go to Ireland, where you started to try out different jobs and different possibilities. You started to study makeup artist world, craniosacral therapy, Kong master, yoga teacher, Ayurveda courses, and you have a beautiful family, many children and some animals. And you work with a lot with your hands, whether it's in your garden or in your kitchen, or creating beautiful art pieces of mosaics of different art. And you have a major passion for humans, how they think, how they act, why they do what they do. And you also have recently picked up horse riding. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for saying all these things. Actually, to hear it, it's like, is it me? Probably.
Yeah. So you are originally from Estonia, and can you tell us how did a woman like you end up in Ireland, where you have been now for 18 years? that's quite a different kind of place where many Estonians, they go to United States or different places in Europe, but Ireland, it's just so kind of far away, seems like such an exotic place, and many people don't even maybe think about this country. Like how did you get connected to Ireland, and how did that invitation come for you?
Yeah, it's a quite interesting actually, because you see, when I was working as a midwife in Estonia, then I had several opportunities to leave my job, and I stayed, right? And suddenly, my cousins came to me and said that, you know what, we are going to Ireland to work. Well, Ireland was that time open with a work permit for foreigners to come and work. It was a Celtic Tiger time, so there was a lot of workplaces available. And through the agency, really, I had an interview then, and I was selected to come here. The agency had to make the work permit for me and look for a job and all such things. Also the flight tickets and everything had to be kind of organized but it didn't go quite like that. So suddenly when I was about to come, the agent called and said that something happened. It don't come basically. So I was like, what are you going to do now? Like, everything was set and then suddenly nothing. And I was kind of tiny for quite some time. I was kind of like a limbo. I didn't know what to do next. And then my cousin, who was actually already in Ireland for a couple of months before me, came home and said that, you know what, I'll take my car over. So we're going to travel. We're going to go via car, not flying, but via car, right? And I said that, okay, I'm in. I'm all in. And so I packed my bag and we took off on 8th of October 2002. And then 2 days later, we found us in this beautiful Emerald Green Island, and no job, no work permit, no nothing, no work, no even living place. And we just started from scratch, really, to look around, and it was quite fun. It was quite exploration time to see how you can survive with very little money, how you are taken in the strange country. Are you welcomed? How is it to really find a job and without the work permit and stuff? So there was a scary moments. There was all sorts of doubts. Could we make it? Can we pay all our bills while we are here, the food and the living, because we lived in B&B in the beginning. But I'm kind of this way that once I have a feeling to go and do something, I just go, and I figure out later what comes need to come, and so it went really. I always leave tiny bit of how to say, like an anchor for myself to return if I need to. So I had a very good manager in midwifery time in Estonia, and when I told her that I'm going to leave, she didn't stop me this time, because previous time she stopped me. And then she said to me, but you know what, I'm going to keep your work. I'm going to keep your workplace open for a little while for me to return. And that was kind of my anchor, that if it doesn't work out, I return and I will be back on my old place and everything going to just continue. Yeah, so that how it began. Yeah, that's all what I can say.
So for many people, it may sound really crazy, and I have done these kind of trips myself, like so many countries, and immigrated, done the whole bureaucracy stuff too several times. So how when you were in this process, like okay, so you had that anchor, you didn't burn all the bridges, but you definitely had fear, like you were in a completely different country, you had no idea how things will spin out, but still you went through it. And can you just share with us, like, what other steps did you do so that you would feel more confident and comfortable and just kept going and made it work?
In the beginning, actually, because I wasn't on my own, I was with my cousin, it was kind of nice feeling to have somebody else with you on this journey. So there was not much fear related really, because I had that bridge really not burned, and it was quite steady. I also had quite a bit put on the side money wise, so I knew that I can survive for quite some time. I'd say that what was actually tiny bit not so good, I didn't have any English. So I had very little. I knew how to say my name is and hello, and basically that was it. So that was fun in the beginning, and then to find a job on that level of English, was a bit challenging. But yeah, we kind of, I just rolled. I don't know. I just rolled. I can't
Yeah.
recall really too many fears that time.
So it was like a really deep trust.
It was that trust, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see, there was only me who I had to take care of,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew that I'm going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So that the inner knowledge, I'm going to be
Yeah.
fine. That
Yeah.
that kind of has been always with me. And then now in later years, I actually have looked back and I have seen that, yeah, even the times of despair or darkness, I can see that I had the guidance, and I trust more now than ever. So yeah.
So now, when I was reading all the description and different things you are doing and have experienced and experimented with, this is such an amazing example, what I call a treasure box. Like all of us, we have lots of treasures, lots of talents and knowledge, which we don't even know that we know. And I feel that each one of us has a responsibility to find out what those things are and then find those different channels, how you can manage them and also give them possibility to express themselves and also serve yourself. So you have in a way created a life where you do many different things, and it works pretty much on your terms. Like you work in an office which is pretty much flexible time wise and so on, then you do your conch therapy, then you do craniosacral and other therapies and things. So I remember when I started to study and like kind of going deeper into things, everyone was telling me you have to just focus on one thing. So, and I've always been so like resistant to that idea. What's your take on it? Like you have tried many things and now you know what you love and how you love. What would you recommend for other people? Like, should they also give themselves the allowance to experience and try and experiment things, or rather just kind of find one thing and focus?
Well, I don't know what to say to the others, really. Maybe they have to just take it as I go along with the stuff. You see, I always was this kind of who had many things on my hands. Like when I was studying, become a midwife, I was working at the same time on several jobs. And then I remember that on one occasion, I looked my timetable and it was huge busy, because there was job in the shop, there was trainings, there was studying in the to be a masseurist, there was a studying to be a midwife. there was a job in the hotel at the same time. And then I looked my schedule and I was like, oh, maybe I can fit something else in, you know. and, and then like this, my friend offered me to become a beauty or how to call, like Avon agency, but it was Oriflame. So I started to do that as well, and also massages, you know, as well, from home to home, kind of. So I was always like that. And when I came to Ireland, in the beginning, it was like a little holiday I got, because suddenly I had one job only. And one job was, I started as a painter in the house. So I had to paint the walls in one newly built house. And that was a kind of simple job, but it was a very, very nice and relaxing for me, because I always had been so busy. So I remember that coming from this busyness, I was sleeping a couple of months, really resting it off, all my busyness, all my doings. And then when I rested it off, kind of, then I started to get ideas again. Like, you know, suddenly I saw the opportunity to go and to start the midwifery here. So I had to go through the bureaucracy of the paperwork, which took me a couple of years actually. But I managed that. And then I was working the same time. I started to do my own vegetable gardens and stuff like that. So I picked up the busyness again, and I had a kid then already, and then I became pregnant with other one, and I remember as I was pregnant with the second child, I suddenly felt like I don't want to do this anymore. I just don't want to do it anymore, but I don't want to waste all my knowledge, what I have gained through several studies and through this and through that. And I kind of turned inward and I nearly prayed for God and then said, or the universe or whatever you believe in. And I said that please send me something what I can do in life here and now, and I can take it with me in everywhere I go. And I kind of set that off. There it went into the universe, and I didn't think about it anymore. And when I had my second child, suddenly the craniosacral was introduced into my life. And I remember going there and being completely puzzled on the first session. And I was like, Jesus, this is bonkers. This is nothing, you know, what I know about life. You know, this is just imaginary work and too much in woo-woo land, kind of, you know. And but I trusted it because I brought my kid there. Somebody recommended for me this kind of therapy for my kid, for my firstborn. And after that, I laid on this table myself, because I kind of was too much in curiosity that what is that? What is that? So I laid in that table, and of course I was blown away. And I knew that instant that craniosacral is the next tool, what is actually sent to me, because I don't know, I don't need anything. And that was in my request to the universe. I can travel with it and I don't need any equipment. I need only me and my hands. And this opened a lot of other doors. So yes, I went on from there to train several different things. And like even now, I still do that. So I suppose it's a personality on one way. But the other thing is also what I can see in people maybe, and it can be a trap, you know, as well, because either you're a seeker and you're seeking constantly to be better, to do better, to whatever is better for you, you know, or it's just your personality type, and then you find that everything flows in your hand, and then you just dive into it and do it. So if there is a trap of being a seeker, then that can become very dangerous place in one way, because you're never satisfied. You're constantly seeking and looking, and that's kind of like you're just how to say it. You're not you're not satisfied, basically. That's the best how to put it. And then you're not fulfilling your life. Then you're not in the flow. Then you're not in the love. Then you're not. Then you're not just you. You're not you. You're lost, kind of. So there is a trap in that. But once you understand this, I think everything else becomes very easy. Well, that's what I think. I don't know. It's my experience, just but.
So if now people are listening to this, they have probably heard about craniosacral therapy, but could you explain a little more in detail what's the basis of it? What does it do? How is it you work with people, and what happens during those sessions?
Yeah, the craniosacral therapy, it's a manual therapy, and when you go to the therapist, you're fully clothed. It's nothing. It's like a very gentle massage, but you don't feel it pressure as such on the body, although it can be, but you feel it more in your deep inner self. So it's a gentle type of body therapy, which really involves your nervous system. It involves your cranial bones. It involves your cerebrospinal fluid. It involves your fascia. It's a connective tissue that we all have. And through that, everything is linked to everything, really. So if you have a problem in your one area in your body, then obviously, it will bring the balance out of the other area in your body, and that's how we get either the pains or aches or illnesses or whatever. So it really is a soft manual therapy, which involves physical parts of the body, but also there is an energy part of it present always as well.
Yeah, I have personal experiences also with this therapy. I did, some friend was offering this during one big holistic fair in Norway, and I was really amazed by it. It was really soft, subtle, but at the same time, so much was happening. But one other one which I experienced was there was a couple doing this work in the ocean in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And they were holding me in the water for almost an hour. And I think I was like, almost like, it felt like I was drunk for days after that. And it really shifted something so deeply. First you are in Hawaii, and then the Pacific Ocean, and, all of those things added to it. But it gave me the subtle connection to my body and spirit in a completely different way. So I really love this. And one other thing it did with me was it slowed me down. And as you said, just being busy. So it was like really, it like almost forced me to slow me down. And I think this is something what people nowadays really need a lot more.
Yeah, and then what I can say is, and then that as I have worked on it since 2015 probably. What I can say is, because it involves your nervous system, what the craniosacral therapist really does is holding the space, holding your and works on your physical body, but you meet your inner self. You really meet it, and what people get from the session is always that feeling of a slow down, being like in different place altogether, and then that space, that huge space and the groundedness comes into them as well after the session. So they usually go away in a very, very nice, tranquil set of mind, kind of, and that can last for several days. And each time when you come again, it can go deeper. And it can go deeper. And every session on the craniosacral is not like any other session. Every session is different with every different person even. So in my practice, I haven't come across two similar sessions. And when you say the craniosacral in the water, it's totally different experience altogether. The craniosacral with the horses, totally different experience altogether. They are just the supporters, because nature, we are part of it. So to come close to the nature and then when you're brought through the craniosacral to your deepest self, which is nature, then only amazing stuff can happen, really. So I myself was blown away from the first session, what I experienced after coming from the medical background. Imagine, being so heady and then experiencing that. It brings it to a totally different level, and it gives the body the ability to heal itself what it needs to heal, to meet your inner self where it needs to be meted, and listened.
Yeah, that's so important to really start to communicate with your body and your whole being, because so often, especially nowadays, people are just so busy all the time, and the only time they maybe start to think about things is when they get sick or something really bad happens, and then they take the time off. Like now recently, Corona has, I think, awakened many people to really reconnect to their true values and how is it actually their life is functioning. And hopefully many of the people have also now reset their lives in a different way.
Yeah, I think the Corona is really a gift. I know that a lot of people won't agree with me here, but I think that everything in life comes in duality. It comes with the good and it comes with the bad. So it's our mindset what will take is things either good or bad. Then from that, So I like to see the Corona as a gift on so many ways. Yes, there is a sadness involved on unfortunate passings or whatever happens, that people get very, very sick and then they die. But generally, for a whole humanity and for a whole planet and then for all what we actually need is the simplicity and come back to your true nature, to come back to you and then start to live out more from the heart center, So that's what is on offer here. And I like to think it this way, rather than go and then be fearful and go to the mainstream and run away with all this craziness, So, and take a time, take a day at a time, just be with it.
So one other thing which I really love about your story and your life is that you have had several deeper clicks, as we put it like that. And these have been those deeper kind of shaking or awakening from the core of your being. And you have had several of those, but one of those was when you were facing depression and anxiety. Would you be so kind and share with us how this happened and how did you come out of it? And I think there are definitely many people who are probably very, very challenged by these topics right now as well.
Yeah. This is the time again when I look back, I like to look it as a gift which has been given to me at the time when I was in it, in the depression and then in anxiety. It didn't feel like it, it felt completely something horrendous and then something what you would like to not to offer to anybody, or that it happens to anybody, you just like to run away all of it, and then leave it behind, and as fast as you can, But now we are being out of it, and the journey through it took so long. But then looking back, it has been really a gift. So why gift? So what it has given to me is this, that when I fell into that path of depression, after being so busy all the time, and suddenly how you kind of have your lifeline in front of you, and then you think that this how it is, and then you wake up one day and you see that I had everything set for myself, and it's not like that. So what's after happening with me? And then you see that Jesus, every area of your life is kind of collapsing, like somebody is after pulling the rug off under your feet, and then I turned. I kind of, but what never left from me was that inner feeling of that everything is okay, and the inner feeling of this, that I figure it out, and I'm always in safe place, and the same feeling of distrust, what I was following all the time, and what brought me to Ireland, and so on and so on, that never left me. And then I cling to that part of me, I suppose, and started to look for self-help and spirituality, and I was kind of directed into that way. And if I look back now, I really can see that kind of pattern even from my childhood, where I was really interested about the spirituality and all this part. So now, I suppose, being all the time the doer, my life kind of gave me the nudge and said that, listen, you have been listening yourself all the way, and you still don't believe that how the life works. So we're going to give you the depression and anxiety, and then you have to actually start to listen. So, and that exactly what happened, because when I was going to the doctor and said that listen, I'm broke, I'm kind of broke, that what we can do about it, then the doctor kind of was very sure that, my path going to be now medicated, and that's how it's going to look like for all of my life. And it didn't sit with me again, because that inner feeling of okayness wasn't gone. The trust wasn't gone. And I remember in my head, this kind of what was playing was that there was a certain voice, and I had heard that a couple of times. Once was when I came to Ireland, and the voice said to me that, welcome home. And then second time was when my dad was dying, and I was in Ireland, and had to go home, and I got to be with my dad together before he died for a week. And the same voice didn't leave me on that time as well, and said that, no, there is something what you can't see at the moment clearly, but you're going to see it. Just hang in there. You're going to see it. And I hold on to that for dear life, I tell you that. And kept going through the several books and then several teachings and then several therapies and stuff like that, until I reached to the point where I became really quiet inside of me, and I could feel that all this knowledge what I have learned through the books and through the teachers and through the therapies and whatever started to seep in. It's nearly like you have to get the intellectual understanding of something first. Then you have to take a sieve, literally, and then sieve all this knowledge through the sieve. And that, what is left on the sieve is yours to keep then. And I had heard so many times the saying, what spiritual teachers very much say is that your thoughts are creating your world. And the other thing, you have to let go. And then there were two things, but I couldn't, first of all, the thoughts, I couldn't agree with that. I understood it, but I couldn't see it for myself, that the thoughts are creating my world. And letting go for me was very much a doing thing again, that I had to do something to let go. And oh boy, I tried every day so hard to let go and let go and let go. I let go this and that and the other thing. And it didn't work this way either. And then I saw suddenly, but that's a thought too. Letting go is thought too. And I think that from there on, I understood what letting go means. And letting go for me became very clear. Let everything be, and letting go is happening. You know, and there was no doing involved whatsoever in that. And it became so easy. And then I started to see that yes, my thoughts are creating my world. Everything that I see, everything is thought. Every single thing. And when I remember when I got that insight, I literally started to cry. I was driving a car when that insight suddenly hit me, and I started to cry. And I looked up in the sky while I was driving. It wasn't a busy road, thank God. It was very, very small road. I was there on my own, you know. And I looked up in the sky and I could see the birds literally flying in the slow motion. And then I realized that, yeah, that's it now. That's what I needed. That was my missing link of this doing and trying to fix myself and trying this and trying that, not seeing that by trying to do anything was adding more doing and more thought and more fixing and more not believing and all this more of everything top of it. So it's no wonder that I was constantly in the hamster wheel, trying to get out of the depression, trying to get out of the anxiety. And what was keeping me in was my own thinking about it constantly. So, and trying to meddle with it.
Yeah, quite a story. I had a very big insight connected to this. Your thoughts create your reality in my life too. I was at that time just breaking up with the father of my son, and I was in a situation where I basically didn't have a place to live, and I didn't have a job, I didn't have money. Finally, I got unemployment money so I could rent a room with a friend's mother. And then that mother was actually working in a publishing house where they had all these, you know, just in the beginning where Estonia also started to publish all these like spiritual books and about abundance and so on. And I remember one of those first books, I don't remember exactly which one, but it talked about, you know, your thoughts create your reality. And then I started to really, I took the moment literally like, okay, so if my thoughts create my reality, so all of the lack which I have in my life, it's created by me. Oh my God. So it was a wake-up call, like, okay, so I have to change that. And then I started to think like, okay, what's possible here? What can I do? And then I was throwing out like, okay, I'm ready. Like you were also like, I'm ready to like whatever next thing is. And then I got the invitation to go to a Danish folk high school for 4 months, and that was a complete like reset and awakening as well. And then I started to really practice your thoughts create your reality, and that's so true. It's such a simple truth, but that's where things start.
Yeah, well, for a lot of people, like I said, as well, it's first you will reach it intellectually anyway, and then that's how humans we do, we are not separate from the human beings, but once you see it for yourself, once it reaches really your heart, there where the real abundance lies, about it, because intellectually you kind of go for it again, like, and then you don't see that you're, by going for it, you're actually creating more thought top of the thought, so you're not really solving anything, and then no clarity will come from the thinking again. So what has to happen is that you understand it from the deeper level, and then you just sit with it in the quiet, and there the clarity and the new answers and new opportunities and everything lies, and then like with this podcast today, I could have run away with the thinking of it, and then go like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't know what I have to share. I don't know anything. What's she going to ask from me? I could have run away with all this and then make my day really hectic and make my coming up to the podcast, the recording of it and everything, make it really stressful situation and everything. Instead, I trusted and then said to myself, whatever needs to come through me will come through me anyway. And if I will start to think about it too much, I really, really can mess up. It doesn't mean that I won't mess up still. but the thing is that what I'm trying to say here is that when you really trust yourself and you trust the process, and then you just sit, your answers are given to you without you actually doing anything. It sounds simple, but it actually is simple too, once you have seen how you create via thought.
Yeah, at times it almost feels like you just need to ask, and it will many times actually be delivered on a golden platter. So you're
Yes.
like, wow, like, is that easy? And I think that's one of the things society has projected on us and our mind and way of thinking and acting, that things have to come hard and you have to work hard, and especially us coming from Estonia, where that was so imprinted generation after generation. So I think it's time to really release that old pattern and turn a new page.
Yeah, but that how we started all this podcast, even, how busy I was, because where I came from was exactly this understanding that you had to be somebody, you had to show that you're capable of something, and by coming to Ireland, it was really escape. I didn't see it that before, but being here now and looking back, I can see that it was a real escape for me to away from all this doing, being somebody, running all the time, and then trying to win some kind of imaginary race, and there is something such abundance and such of richness in the life more if you don't just do that. It doesn't mean that you're sitting comfortably on your chair and then everything will be delivered to you. If people think that, they are on completely in the lost road altogether. No, just what it means is that when you are in that quiet place, when you are in that groundedness, when you are in that knowing of and trusting of something bigger than you, then the next step will be revealed to you without you actually doing any, like not even planning your next step, not even putting your calls there or whatever, it will be revealed anyway. And once you will step next step going to be revealed again. And then if we look back into the beginning of how I came to Ireland, or how I was studying this and the next thing and next thing, they were all revealed to me. I didn't do anything, but life showed me the hard way that, listen, you don't listen very well. I have to give you that little kick in your ass. So I had to pull the life had to pull, not me now, yeah. The life had to pull the rug under me and then show that listen, everything what you did, you thought that you are trusting, but you then same time you didn't either. There was like a conversation in me going on all the time, I am trusting, I'm not, I am not, but when you do trust, then things just start to really reveal, and then you to be unknown is very uncomfortable. And there where we are at the moment with this COVID and everything, we are unknown. And in that, I see the gift also, because we don't know what the outcome is. So why do resist? Why do fight with it? Why to do anything about it at the moment? Just be in your inner peace, be in your inner strength, be grounded, and just see what you are gonna turn to next, So
yeah, very good tips.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much, Riina. Very nice talking to you, get to know a little bit more about your world, how you see the world, and to also listen about your journey and how you have made your dreams come true. So thank you so much, and I wish you all the best with the rest of the journeys which are there for you, and lots of beautiful time in Ireland.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was really unexpected and so nice at the same time. I hope it's something what people can listen back and relate to. And
for
if
sure.
not, then not, nothing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
But all the best anyway.
Yeah. And it seems that we got material worthwhile for 2 episodes, so it will be half and half. So people will be hopefully very excited to listen to the second half. So, and also you will find all the details about Riina in the notes. And as always, please write a review, download and share, and please also subscribe to our channels, and let us know if you have any suggestions or questions. So thank you so much. All the best till we meet again. Mahalo.
Till we meet again. Mahalo.